Yo, what is good YouTube? I'm Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the crossover culture Fortune. Before we get started, if y'all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and also hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this one. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the crossover culture features like this. I don't know, this some kind of like pattern, and I really don't know what this pattern is. Crossover culture says this is like a type of herringbone. It's like I forget exactly what they said, but it's basically like a modified herringbone according to them. And I can like kind of see it, I guess, but whatever this pattern is, the traction on here is freaking amazing. If you are playing on your clean courts, you're gonna have a very, very good hard bite. You're gonna be able to stop on a dime. The traction was just really, really good on those clean courts. If you are playing on your dustier courts, just be cautious. This does pick up dust, and you can actually see like these little fibers that are just like hanging around. So yeah, I mean, it does pick up dust, so you will have to do the occasional wipe here and there, but I would say overall dust performance was also very good. If you do let the dust accumulate though, you might find yourself sliding to a stop here and there. But like I said, very quick wipes and you should be good to go. Depending on how dusty your court is, sometimes the dust can get a little tacked on, so it may have to take like, a little more wiping, or just like a little bit harder of a wipe rather than like a light wipe. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, overall, the traction was very, very good on the shoe. And in general, I really didn't have any issues with the traction. So moving on to the cushion, the Fortune features Crossover Culture's Ghost Foam. And this is supposed to be like a high rebound foam. And I wouldn't say it is like the most bouncy or reboundy. I will say it does have a nice subtle bounce. In the heel, you definitely feel that bounce a little bit more than the forefoot, obviously because the cushion in the heel is thicker than in the forefoot. But yeah, I mean, impact protection is great in the shoe. In the heel, like I said, you have a lot of impact protection. I wouldn't say it's like top tier impact protection. Maybe a little bit better than what I would consider adequate. So yeah, I mean, in the heel, the cushion is nice. You do get a little bit of bounce. In the forefoot, you also get just a little bit of bounce, like a very, very subtle bounce. But you still have like a little bit of that impact protection too, which is nice. The only downside really to this cushion is that it is a little bit lacking in the court feel. You do feel slightly high above the ground, but not to the nature of like where you feel like you're unstable or anything. But it is noticeable if you are playing in something with thinner cushion, or just a shoe that feels more lower to the ground. But yeah, I mean, overall, the cushion still is very nice. If you are expecting a lot of impact protection, this probably isn't it. But if you do like, almost a good balance between court feel responsiveness and that impact protection, I would say this is definitely catered more slightly towards that impact protection side. But even as like a shorter person, like a person who has more of a guard-like play style, I felt perfectly fine in these, and I still felt plenty quick. So yeah, overall the cushion in the Fortune was pretty damn good. So moving on to the materials, the crossover culture Fortune features a pretty much entire mesh upper or textile upper. You do have some overlays here and there which are actually full grain leather, which is awesome. Especially for the price point. But yeah, I mean, like I said, most of this is like some sort of mesh or textile. Up in the toe box, you do have like this mesh. Up in the midfoot area towards the back heel as well, you do have like this textile material, and then you do have like these full grain leather overlays over in the toe box for that added durability, and as well as where the eyelets are to make sure that area is reinforced and you aren't breaking through that material. Moving to the tongue, you do have like your standard mesh tongue. And I wouldn't say that this is the most padded, but I would say it is padded enough to, if you do like to crank down your laces, you won't really feel the laces digging into your foot, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, overall, the material usage on this shoe, I personally had no issues with it. It does get a little bit toasty in the midfoot area if you do have like very sweaty feet. But I mean, in general, I would say that the material usage on the Fortune is actually quite good. So moving on to the fit, I will say that the Fortune does run small. So my recommendation would be, if you have normal or narrow feet, I would recommend you all probably go up a half size. I'm a slightly wide footer, and I went up a full size, and I actually felt pretty good. If I went up a half size, I think I could still probably get away with it. I will say though that it does get a little bit narrow up in this forefoot area. Right here, I did feel a little bit of pressure going up a full size. So yeah, I mean, wide footers, I would say full size up is the way to go. Normal footers and narrow footers, I think going up a half size is the way to go. If you have slightly wide feet, I really think you could go either way, just depending on what your preference is, right? But yeah, for me, I am personally glad I went up a full size. It felt very comfortable. Lengthwise, it didn't really even have like too much extra length. Maybe like I said, like a half size. But yeah, I mean, everywhere else, the fit was really good. This is a half booty upper to give you as close of a one-to-one fit as possible. At least in the midfoot section, I will say that there is some dead space up in the toe box area, and you do kind of feel it. Like, it's not like it's uncomfortable or anything, but if you do like lift your toes and stuff, you can kind of feel your toes like swimming a little bit, just in terms of the height of the toe box. But everywhere else, like in terms of the width or anything, my foot felt very good. So overall, I will say that the fit in this shoe is good, but just make sure normal and narrow footers go up a half size, wide footers and let's say slightly wide footers go up a whole size. So moving on to the support. The Crossover Culture Fortune has very good support. I personally had zero issues with the support in this shoe. You do have an internal heel counter, which helps lock in your heel. I didn't have any heel slippage in the shoe, which is awesome. Also, the lacing goes pretty damn high, so it makes sure that your heel is nice and sucked into the back of the shoe. In terms of side-to-side movement on the footbed, I didn't have any of that either. If you all notice, this cushion setup kind of reminds me of like a hovercraft almost. And you actually sit inside of this midsole a little bit, so you are definitely contained in the shoe. So yeah, I didn't have any of that side-to-side movement or anything. On those hard lateral movements, you're gonna be covered as well. You do have a fairly wide base, and this midsole does actually protrude out to create a pseudo outrigger, so you aren't rolling over on those hard lateral movements. And then as far as torsional rigidity and stability goes, I wouldn't say this is the most stiff and rigid shoe, but you definitely have more than enough to be covered. I'm sure there is some sort of shank plate in here, but I'm not like 100% on that. But based off of how rigid it is, I would assume that there is a shank plate in here. So yeah, I mean, overall, in terms of the support, you're gonna be covered. I had zero issues with the support in the Fortune. So the Crossover Culture Fortune retails for only $120. And for $120, I think that is an absolute great price for the shoe. It is definitely a must cop in my opinion. Crossover Culture, it's a smaller brand, like, on the levels of like Serious Player Only, not Anta or anything. Those are pretty big overseas, but I mean, Crossover Culture is like a lesser known brand, right? Compared to Nike and Adidas, Under Armour, and so on and so forth. But let me tell you, like, this shoe is actually very, very nice. And for $120, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. The materials could have been a little bit better, but in terms of the performance, they do a very good job. It's really nice that they are actually using full grain leather, especially at this price point. That's kind of unheard of. But I mean, yeah, the traction is good, cushion is good, support is good. Like, everything about this shoe is good. So if you are looking for a very solid hoop shoe for a pretty damn good price too, I would say go pick up a pair of these. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I believe Taurean Prince has also played in the shoe along with another Crossover Culture shoe, which I'm actually going to be releasing a review on soon. So yeah, I mean, overall, $120. The Crossover Culture Fortune is a great shoe. I would highly recommend you all go pick up a pair. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this performance review. If y'all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. And also, please hit that thumbs up button for me, as it really does help me out. Also, please leave a comment, because that also helps me out, But yeah, besides that, check out these videos over here, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.